Hey, welcome back, Mobility Project. Something monumental has happened, enormous, in fact, in the history of the MobilityWOD. Niger has two users now, and I know we were big on Niger and Niger please, and subsistence torque farming, but part of the hegemony, part of the the dominance of MobilityWOD is the fact that it's been everywhere. And if you know someone in North Korea, I'll help you out. That's something that's big. Also, we're having a hard time in Angola and Somalia, but there's some things going on there. But Niger, this one's for you, and reminded me that we have a lot of guys using this stuff and a lot of girls using this stuff in sketchy places, and sometimes there's not a band anywhere in a sketchy place, like a third world dusty place. And this is for you kids out there doing the sketchy job, especially my PJs. So take a look at this. Usually in the third world country, there's always a bike inner tube, and you're like, hey, I can't attach my mobility band to or my jump stretch band to my power rack. So we have an expert here. What I want you guys to do is grab yourself an inner tube, even if you're just out hanging out. Slow down a little bit, pull further, and stop. So we just park the car on the inner tube. Now here's the MobilityWOD project for today. Here's the mission. From this thing first, you can double up, just hook them together. What's up, Bear Star? Hook them up, and now we've got a pretty effective way to generate some leverage. And you can loop them over. You can see how we can change resistance. So homework number one is that we're going to go ahead and spend 2 or 3 minutes on the ankle today. We're going to put that band low across the low part of the ankle, and we're going to just keep that ankle in a good position. We're going to floss forward. And again, the issue here isn't just taking the joint and collapsing it or taking the joint into its normal end range. I've got to account for that joint capsule. That's why whenever you see something that just looks like, hey, press your knee into the wall, it's a little bit of incomplete thinking, because it's like just saying, hey, raise your arm over your head further and further. It's not going to change. So homework number one, let's go ahead and wind that guy up, however you decide to do that. And I want you to press into those corners, about 1.5 minutes. Flip the other direction, and now we're going to change a little bit. The other one was a mulligan. This is a little bit more in keeping with kind of the Maitland approach, counting for the joint capsule. Press into those corners. It's not just going to be a static position. You're going to see that there's a range over here where I can even scour the joint a little bit. And I'm just, as long as I'm accounting for the joint capsule, I can just oscillate, treat until you make change. So that's homework number 1 and 2. Homework number 3, let's get that calf back up on the wall. Once you've accounted for the joint capsule, what we're going to do is we're going to floss in and out. And if you could combine techniques, that'd be even better. It's going to be tricky to set up. But throw that foot on here. If you get a chance to stand around all day long, we're going to bring that hip to the wall and camp out. I can contract, relax here. 5 seconds of peak tension, 10 seconds off, moving into new range. I can just floss into those corners, kind of just feeling those rays of tension. The key is to make it until I have enough change. And then finally, let's go ahead and take that band, hook it up onto your hip, and let's just spend a little bit of time in this high kneel position. We did a little bit more of this the other day, but I want you just to spend 2 minutes or so spending some quality time into this deep position. Drive the knee out, accounting with the hip distraction. If you have a friend's rental car or another Humvee or another kind of useful Hilux truck in those sketchy places, I see you guys there. An easy way to get up into those positions while you're working on something else. Don't be afraid to drop the leg over as well, as long as you're accounting for the hip capsule. All right, inner tube, Humvee, you get the idea. We'll see you tomorrow.